Good morning, good evening, and welcome everybody. The Kingdom Come Deliverance, the second part. It's a shot in the dark, but do you remember the famous expression, I want to get back to the island, popularized by the actor Carlos Herrera in the Dubois series? Not that particularly relevant for the analysis, but right now, if one thing I want to shout out at the top of my lungs instead of writing, I want to go back to Bohemia. If it weren't for the commitment I have to you, confess, dear reader, and dear listener, and dear subscriber. Possibly the only thing I would write about the Kingdom Come Deliverance is that everything is the first game is, but better. The same armor, but polished. The same sharper, but the sword. And the same lovable brute that is Henry of Skalitz, but equally brute and lovable. Okay, maybe a little bit less brute than it used to be, but it's fine. It's fine. But in that said, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is a fantastic action RPG that doesn't just follows into the footsteps of the first game, but expands, in fact, makes it feel like it was the first draft. So now we got the bigger, better, and much more ultimate vision from Warhouse Studios. So, Kingdom Come Deliverance, KCD2, is a direct continuation of the first game, and for that reason, I strongly recommend you to firstly play the first one, or at least refresh your memory about the events of the game, because I consider it is essential to become aware of characters' motivations, but also of the entire political plot that guides the core of the storyline. Henry, more mature and capable, once again assumes the role of the hero of its story, written by absolutely fantastic humor and seriousness. Getting straight to the point, this is possibly the game's best achieved aspect. The way it merges political power plays, card conspiracies, nobles who move in the shadows to build alliances that shape the destiny of the kingdoms with mundane stories, with tremendous heart. So, medieval Bohemia is full of these stories, hidden in every village, tavern, or forest road. There is an envious tavern who wants to humiliate his neighbor, whom he considers too arrogant just because he has a white bull, and a speech impediment that makes him wheezy, which obviously makes him a target. In some forest, I'm attacked by a very polite bandit, who, between death threats, apologizes and explains to me very delicately that he is only assaulting me because he considered me a capable warrior and that, in fact, he lost his all possessions due to betrayal. What better start adventure than this? And why not to solve the mystery of a serial killer in kind of medieval noir that wings a Dick Tracy, complete a reformed investigator who decided to drown in his sorrows in alcohol, all because he was unable to find the person responsible. I could spend all the day here listening on fantastic and hilarious stories of KCD2, spread across an endless number of side quests, which make me forget that the kingdom of Bohemia is in the grip of civil war between the kings. Not the main story is boring, far be from it me suggest anything of the sort, but because each side quest hides a pictures really of medieval life that I want to discover. To hell with the rewards. The real treasure is having the satisfaction of stealing and the king's sausages to disturb them to the beggars of Kuttenberg. The main campaign is equally appealing and it's full of fantastic narrative moments with a Hollywood touch, ranging from the assault on forts, bloody ambushes, betrayals, massacres, and the inventable power games of the courts. In between, I assure you that there is a room for the classic Kingdom Come humor, which ranges from the most vulgar in the first game offered to the moments of hilarious slapstick. I found myself laughing out loud when Henry and a group of bandits tried to ambush a caravan with the firearms, which resulted in a thunderous and smoky explosion, which did not go beyond the flaccidity of the bang and the faces of disappointment of those who were involved. I would really like to reveal more to you, but I don't want to risk spoiling any surprises. The truth is, if you were a fan of the story of the first game, you like the story of the second even more, in the large part because it continues to develop their relationships and characters from the first. If you haven't played the first game, you have no excuse not to, but be warned that you need a lot of time to explore everything it has to offer. Kingdom Come 2 is even bigger. Henry, the unlikely hero of the Kingdom Come, is more mature and experienced, but still the son of the blacksmith in his service of Hans Capon, a mature nobleman more concerned with drinking and getting involved with every woman he met when then fulfilling his duties. This additional experience is reflected first and foremost in his skills. Although the narrative reason he goes back to Squad 1, Henry is perfectly capable of completely wielding a weapon without the risk of cutting off a finger. The combat system has also been improved, although it maintains the sentence of the first game. Using a sword is rarely simple that each fight is a duel waged in defense and counterattacks, which becomes easier as we become familiar with the two mechanics, in particular the massive strike, which essentially turns defense into aggression and allows us to deliver inventable counterattack. Slow and measured combat becomes much more demanding when you face more than an opponent at a time. Switching and managing different target is easier than in the first game, but it still requires a lot of attention and movement if you want to have a chance of survival. Launching attacks aimlessly is rarely the answer, especially when you're up against more experienced warriors who can deflect your attacks. Coming across a couple of bandits on the roads leads to early death, especially if you're caught by surprise or without armor, or two hits is enough. The choice of weapons itself plays a very important role and capable of breaking shields and crushing the bones, and those were protected by the metal armor. I'm talking about the hammer. A halberd is great for keeping your opponents at a distance. It's how you cannot not fire us incredibly lethal or useless. The choice of weapons is just one of the many when the Kingdom Come Deliverance II commits to free-flowing gameplay is determined by the action and goes far beyond the combat. Yes, we can make a Henry ingroveled drunkard, immune to hangovers, capable of knocking down giants with his inevitable fist amidst a storm of obscenities. Or, on the other hand, we can make him a gallant knight with shining armor and a silver tongue, capable of convincing anyone, be they noble or peasant. All of this supported by a system of attributes and passive skills that evolve according to what we do. For example, I drink a lot of alcohol. I can choose passive skills from this category, which among other things reduce the effect of hangovers or allow me to make less noise when I sneak throughout the shadows of drunk. If I prefer to invest points in the speech category, I can make Henry a more convincing guy or give him the ability of intimidating his opponents with the war cries. Whatever role we give Henry, he fits perfectly into a system of the Kingdom Come Deliverance II, which together brings his word to life. One day, while walking throughout the town of the Kuttenberg, I came across a trio of drunks in heated argument. One of them was going to marry the other sisters, much with disappointment of the third, who claimed he was the right match for the bride. Turning at Comsting Town, I suggested that perhaps it wouldn't be a good idea to be drunk on the eve of the wedding, and the poor girl deserved better than an alcoholic guy. It backfired on me. The three guys were quite angry at the suggestions and joined to beat me up. As a result, I woke up in the mud and faces of Gutenberg, feeling ashamed of having beaten by up a trio of the drunks. So this game is very interesting to play. So um, in conclusion, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is an improvement of every aspect of our horse first game and a fully fledged action RPG with an epic story, delightful side quest, memorable characters, a fantastic melee combat system, and a work that captivates us from the very first moment of its dozens. It's not hundreds of hours, but Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 is the crowning achievement of Warhorse Studios, which establishes itself as worthy here in person RPG. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. You have a wonderful whatever the time it is. Peace.